my name is Anson Thompson. You may call me Andy, and this is Find the Pain, Heal the Pain, Show the Love. Today we're going to talk about networking, and not necessarily social networking, because we'll talk about that later. Everybody's talking about social networking, but no one's talking about the old style networking. And what I'm talking about is the old meeting with people face to face. And you know, there's 6.7 billion people in this world. There's 300 million people in this country. And the basis of networking and this little module we're going to go through today is the more people you can have a very good relationship with, the more people that you can get a third-tier relationship with, the more people that you can get refrigerator rights with, the better your life will become. So when talking about networking, everybody thinks about the old name badge. Hi, my name is Bob. Hi, I'm Bob. And I actually hate that term, networking. I like the term relationship building, because in essence, that's what we're talking about when we talk about networking. But I like when I'm talking about networking, I like to break it down into three different tiers: Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. Tier 1, if you think about the networking, you go to a meeting, you really don't know someone, you go up and you ask them a question and you kind of engage them, and you really don't know anything about them other than their name. That would be like a Tier 1 connection. A Tier 2 connection is somebody that you know their name, you know where they work, and maybe what they do for a hobby, you know their family, and that's about it. And the third tier is something I like to refer to as refrigerator rights. You've got refrigerator rights with that person. And I'm from a small town in Indiana, and so I can't say refrigerator very well, and maybe you've noticed that, but refrigerator rights. And I've stole that from Dr. Will Miller, who's also written some books called QBQ, Question Before the Question, Flip the Switch. And so I highly recommend that. But the idea behind refrigerator rights is that there are people that can come to your home today. And when they come to your home, they can go to your refrigerator, and as they're having a conversation, they can open up your refrigerator and they can make a sandwich, and you wouldn't think anything about it. Now, I promise you, if I came to your house today, whoever you may be, and I did that, you'd freak out. Okay, so I don't have refrigerator rights with you, but you have friends and you have family that do. And if you think about the business application of that, it is those people who will help you grow your business faster. It is those people that you want to connect with. It is those people that you want to have the strong relationships with. How do we go from a Tier 1, a Tier 2, a Tier 3, and create refrigerator rights with more and more people? That's what I want to talk about. Okay, so we go to a networking event, right? And there's just a couple of things I want to point out before I kind of give you this roadmap that we've talked about. And the first thing I want you to understand is that when you begin your relationship building or your networking, always remember that not everybody will like you. That's okay. I mean, we're all adults now, and you should know that, but it's okay that not everybody will like you. And I want to tell you that it's okay if you don't like somebody else. You know, again, there's 6.7 billion people in the world. There's plenty of people to engage with and have a great conversation and have a great relationship with and maybe build your business around. The one thing that I always like to tell people is there's really two theories on connecting with people. The first theory is the abundance theory, and the second theory is the scarcity theory. And the scarcity theory, if you apply it, says basically every interaction I have, I've got to make it count. Okay, every sales appointment I have, every person that I meet with, man, I've got to make it a go. And that's pretty bad, because every time you get into a relationship, you're always trying, and you're trying too hard. And the abundance theory says there's 6.7 billion people in the world. If you meet someone or you're connecting with someone and it doesn't go just as well as it should, or maybe you're not connecting as well as you could, that's okay. Let it go. Move on to the next appointment. Move on to the next person. All right, so we want to move from Tier 1 to Tier 2 and then ultimately to Tier 3. So you go to these meetings, right, and you're in a meeting and you're meeting someone for the first time. So how do you kind of get deeper and deeper with them? Well, the first thing is use the 70-30 rule. The 70-30 rule is be quiet. Just shut up. Let them talk, because always remember, in every interaction, it's never about you, it's about them. It's never about you. It's always about them. The second thing I always want to point out is always use their name. Always use their name. Finally, eye contact. And some people struggle with this, and you know people like this where they really can't look you in the eye. And a trick I learned years and years ago is when you're talking to someone and you really struggle looking at them in the eye, pick one eye and focus on it. Say their name, shut up, and look them in the eye. How do we get to that third tier? Well, we do that by engaging with people in business and outside of business. And my roadmap to success with going from first to second to third tier refrigerator rights goes something like this. Every person in business should be a part of at least 3 main groups. The first group being a civic group, the second group being a trade association, and finally the third group being a business networking group. Now, at different stages in your career, one or more of those groups are going to be more important. But I don't care if you're 50, 75, 120, or 25 years old. At a minimum, you need to be a part of those 3 groups. First and foremost, let's talk about the civic group. Civic group is something like Rotary, Lions Club, Kiwanis. The reason I recommend being a part of those groups is because those are generally the people that care in the community. Those are CEOs and CFOs. They're decision makers in your community. And you don't get to know them. You don't get first tier or second tier. You get third tier when you begin doing community service projects outside of those meetings. Okay, so first and foremost, join or be a part of a civic group. Number 2, trade association. You struggle every day as a business owner, and I don't know if you sell copiers, I don't know if you sell shoes, if you sell insurance, or in the banking business, the finance business. I don't care. It really doesn't matter. No matter what you do, there's a trade association for what you do. And you struggle every day to do whatever it is that you do, but someone's already had that problem. And the way you find out those people is you go join a trade association and you begin connecting with people not in your backyard but from different parts of your state and all over the country. So the second group that I highly recommend that you join is to be a part of a trade association. Now finally, a networking group. There's great networking groups out there called BNI, Business Networking International, Rainmakers. If you want to have some fun, Google networking group. Do your own research, find a group locally, but you have to be a part of one of those groups. It's going to expand your connection. You're going to go from first to second to third tier and get refrigerator rights with more and more people. So what's the key to success in any group? Well, first of all, be comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable when you go to a group or a trade association meeting or a networking group, it's probably not a good group for you. Groups have different personalities. And maybe your personality is not a good fit for a group in your area, but I promise you, if you keep looking, you will find a group, whether it be a trade association, a civic group, or a networking group that meets your personality. Okay? But when you begin that process, first of all, always be early. Show up early. Show up early every time. In the first 5 or 6 weeks, try to just be quiet and observe. And try to find out, what does this group need? And you have a skill set, and I don't know what that skill set is, but you have a skill set. And try to think, okay, this is a skill set I have. Maybe you can talk in front of a group. Maybe you can help people with sending out newsletters. Maybe you can do website development. No matter what it is, maybe you can do copywriting. I don't know what your skill set is, but you have special talents. Take those special talents, combine those with what the specific group needs, and go to leadership and say, look, I've been here 5 or 6 weeks, and it appears to me that you guys might need some help with membership, with your website, with whatever it is that you deem they need help with. I'd like to talk to somebody. And they'll say, you know what, you need to talk to Mary. And so you and Mary go out and have a cup of coffee, and pretty soon you're going to be working with Mary to help them better the club. And people will start taking notice of that. And as you do more and more and more for the club, people will begin, this young person, this old coot is really kind of engaging, and we want to kind of keep him or her more engaged in the club. They'll give you more responsibility, and you can become a very, very integral part of that group, and again, go from first to second to third tier with your connections within that group. Okay, so there you have it. You have the types of groups to be a part of. You have the roadmap to go from first to second to third tier or refrigerator rights with everybody that you come in contact with. Good luck.